What's up, everybody? This is Naxxion back with another deck profile, and today I'm coming back with Kashtira, which so happens to be my favorite deck. I'll make this nice, brief, and simple for you. I start by playing 3 copies of Cashchiro Riseheart. This is my favorite card in the entire deck. I feel like this card is undervalued, even though it's gotten more appreciation as time has gone on. I think this card is incredibly versatile, and the deck would be nowhere near as good without it. I play 3 copies of Cashchiro Unicorn. Pretty standard, just like 3 copies of Fenrir. You just want to see Cashchiro names at all times. That doesn't really ever change. Yeah, this is the perfect 9 ratio. Other Cashchiro cards I play is 2 Scareclaw Cashchiros. I know people like to play tier cash, but tier cash is situational, and I feel like, especially in the current meta anyway, this comes up a lot more, and having the second means you get an additional extender. And then I play the 1 Cashchiro Ogre. Ogre's probably my second favorite. I love Ogre. I think he's very, very useful. With the hand traps, I play 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. And then I play 3 copies of Dimensional Shifter. I really don't play any more hand traps than this. These 6 get the job done. I play triple copies of the Field Spell. It's just too good and one of the best field spells in the game. I play 3 copies of Cashchiro Theosis and 3 copies of Cashchiro Birth. Once again, a perfect 9. More Cashchiro cards, more consistency, and more ability to play and gain your resources back. For other cards I play double copies of Triple Tactics Talent, and I play 1 copy of Triple Tactics Thrust. Cashchiro suffers greatly to consistency and interruption. This assures that not only can you fight back, but you can search powerful one-off cards and essentially play a 3rd copy of Talents, but also have access to other cards. Talents overperforms in this deck. For other consistency cards, I play 1 Pot of Prosperity, 1 Reinforcements of the Army, and 1 Terraforming. Once again, consistency, consistency, consistency. Cashchiro has all the tools it needs to win a game, even if it has less interactions now than it did. The important thing is just being able to push through that. And Rhoda has been very kind to me. I also play triple copies of Darkhole. Darkhole is actually really good. I prefer this card over Aigeki. There's just weird stuff like Mimighoul, and also there are times where you might get, let's say you open up Unicorn and Fenrir, but no way to extend. You get your Unicorn and it gets impermed. You just Darkhole and you keep playing. You want your board presence there. And it's not the worst thing in the world to blow up your monsters too. If anything, this forces interaction, and you can just hold on to this cards. Kashtira is a deck that simplifies game states very effectively, and this is very good. Going first and going second. And the final 3 cards in the main deck, I play 1 copy of Spell Card Monster Reborn. This card's really good. It pairs really nicely to Call by the Grave. Cashchiro sometimes gets interrupted, but these 2 cards act similar to each other. The theory of 1-ups that I take from above average when it comes to his Cashchiro profiles. These cards work very well for me. And then, of course, Cashchiro Preparations. Really great card. Do not cut this card. Now, regarding the side deck, I play triple copies of Molcharmy Perilia. I was thinking of putting this in the main, but I really don't like main decking this. I want cards that can do something immediately. I don't own Maxi 2, and I'm not going to purchase it. Not until it gets cheaper, banned, or whatever happens to that. So this is still the loan that my friends are giving me, and I'm going to be using this for a while. Shout outs to them. Yeah, Perilia, just good. I don't like the design of the card, but it is good, and it can turn skip some decks. I also play 2 copies of Lava Golem. I feel like 2 copies is the perfect amount. Lava Golem just breaks boards and doesn't conflict with your deck at all. I also play 1 Sneaky Sea. This card doesn't come up too much because I never draw it, but the times that I do, it's really effective. Some decks are just genuinely nimble to being able to deal with a sneaky C, and a well-timed one is devastating. Yeah, really good. I also play one Harpies and double Cosmics. I know a lot of deck profiles love to main deck this, and honestly, it just depends on the format. I feel like this is too good to not have, but siding, I would rather just see Darkhole than this. But if you know you're going against Stun, you have to be prepared for it and stuff like that. And yeah, these are just good cards to have in general. I also play one copy of D-Barrier. This is just for some matchups that I lose hard to, like Branded or Tempai. I also play in the side two Big Bang Blows. Sorry, I'm thinking of the other anime card. Big Bang, Cashchiro, Big Bang. The theory of this card is that for one, if your opponent can't out in a time to evenly, or you hard draw this, and let's say the best board you can make is Shangri-La pass with this set, this is still enough to get you there. Legitimately, it's enough. And it has an additional follow-up. It's still kind of risky because it's a card that doesn't do much on theory, but a Big Bang is pretty good. And with an OKC regional coming up, I'm still trying it out. Then the final three cards in there, one Rivalry, one Macro, and one Anti-Spell. I figured playing Floodgates is fine. I mean, I don't like playing Floodgates, but with just how fast the other decks are and how versatile, slowing them down is really good. And once again, Cashchiro's goal is to simplify game states and lower ceiling. This lowers it. Macro and Anti-Spell for my locals, where I got second place, is the making this last week overperformed greatly for me in my very final match. Regarding the extra deck, I play one copy of Shangri-La. Maybe someday we'll get more Cashchiro Xyz monsters instead of just the two, but for now, Shangri-La is excellent. I also play one number 11 Big Eye, and one number 76, and one Dark Armed. Very standard. I don't play Blaze. I just think it's a little too situational. But these three work very well. They do what they need to do. The amount of times I've won games just off any of these are good. And that's the kind of thing. Their extra deck is kind of clunky, but they have very good situational cards. So we'll make do with what we got. We're not ranked 4. Speaking of, this card is crazy. The amount of times that I play this card and the opponent struggles to out this, and it puts me in such a dominating position, is actually crazy. I wish when I actually started playing Cashchiro when it came out, I paid more attention to this card, because this card's crazy. Putting 2 on the board, if you know your opponent's not going to be able to do anything about it, is kind of cracked. By the time they exhaust all their resources, unless they have a natural out to it, they're not going to be able to kill you, and you probably have held your follow-up for next turn, and then you just win. Yeah, straight up. So, very good cards. 1 or 2, but I recommend playing 1 at bare best. Then, of course, we play card that says I'm losing the game most of the time, and Zeus. Divine Arsenal AA Zodiac Zeus. Then, from the package, Draco Sack, 2 Link Spider, 1 G Golem, 1 Heat Soul. I know a lot of people play this or consider cutting it. I feel like it's actually still really good, especially if you play cards like SP Little Knight, which is what I end on. Not only draw through your deck, but you have established a way to not care about nib. And the reason I think this is really good is because there's no consequence to your opponent interrupting any of this. Interrupting the draw or interrupting this, you are still playing around quite a bit. But if you sense your opponent has nib, they're going to think you're going to go on something else. SP end is not what most people expect anyway. Even when Appaloosa was around, I never liked ending on it. So I liked it so much, I play a second SP Little Knight. The second SP Little Knight is, for this deck, it really depends on the way you build it. I, for one, actually think second SP is game-winning. I started playing it in my Ubel deck as well, and that second SP comes up so often I win the game off it. While it may not come up as often in Kashtira, I just feel like it's not a bad card to have. I feel like it will come up, and it once again is a very game-winning and very game-simplifying card. Fits perfectly within the philosophy of Cashchiro. But yeah, that's my Cashchiro deck profile. It's been doing pretty well for me this year. I have really no complaints about it. With the OKC regional coming up, I think this is going to be the deck I bring, simply because I am gatekeeped out of buying Max C, so therefore Ubel is just not as... Okay, let me rephrase. Ubel is not as good if you don't own Max C, and this deck doesn't care about that too much. It's noticeable, but I don't know. I just really enjoy the playstyle of this deck. Xyz is my favorite type of summoning mechanic, so there's that. Let me know if y'all think this was worthwhile or cringe, because it is Kashtira, and I am someone who legitimately enjoys this archetype and deck since day one. That said, 89 can't come back. Thank you all for watching, and I hope